Happening now, why southern Chautauqua County has been flagged for lead-poisoned kids. And we're breaking down the back and forth over a possible COVID vaccine mandate for school-aged children, plus Halloween safety tips you need to know before setting out to trick-or-treat in our community.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, the greater Jamestown area has been flagged among top communities here in New York State as having the highest number of lead-poisoned children. This startling statistic, which ranks the 14701 zip code as the 7th lead paint hotspot, was released by Healthy at Home CHQ Coalition as part of a public awareness campaign during National Lead Poison Prevention Week. The coalition, along with other partners, are working to empower families to take action to prevent lead poisoning by testing for the toxin. Because of our area's stock of old homes, lead dust left over by old paint is a threat specifically to young children who are now learning to crawl and walk at an age when they put many things like toys and hands in their mouth, increasing the likelihood of exposure.
Give us a call at the health department. We can come in, we can do an inspection of your home, we can offer you training and some supplies to help remediate those lead hazards.
To learn more about lead paint testing, you can call the Childhood Lead and Healthy Homes office at the number listed on your screen. It's 716-753-4489. Well, as illness spreads throughout local schools, some are fearing a COVID-19 vaccine mandate for students could be on the horizon. However, Chautauqua County's representative in Washington is standing strong against the idea. Bronson Rasmussen joins us live in the newsroom today with more on what our local rep and Governor Kathy Hochul has to say. Bronson?
Justin, Congressman Joe Sempolenski tells us he disagrees with the new recommendations by the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that the COVID-19 vaccine should be included in routinely scheduled immunizations for school-aged children.
Parents know what is best for their children, not a Washington bureaucrat. And it's very clear, we've learned during the COVID pandemic, that a lot of times decisions that are coming from Washington were not necessarily made with children's best interests in mind.
In 2021, New York State required proof of COVID vaccination or a negative test status for educators statewide. However, a full vaccine mandate for public schools did not roll out. Nevertheless, Governor Kathy Hochul hinted during this week's gubernatorial debate that she would consider such an act if it were passed by the state's legislature.
COVID is still a threat, but now we have the new vaccine. The bivalent booster is especially effective against Omicron, because here's what I have to make sure people don't think. If you got your shot, you got your booster a while back, I got it last year, I'm all good. No. You need to get it updated.
While Congressman Sempolenski mirrors the governor's thoughts on the effectiveness of the shot, he, however, believes that mandating the vaccine is not the way to go.
I'm not opposed to the COVID-19 vaccine. If you want to get vaccinated or you want your children to be vaccinated, that's also your decision, and it should be available to you.
In the end, Governor Hochul believes that this virus is unpredictable, and we should all try to stay safe and healthy.
What we've learned about this pandemic is you just never can tell. This time last year, we were going through Delta. Never saw Omicron on the horizon until November 26th, and then it hit us harder than anywhere else. So we're always watching.
A federal advisory group moved forward with the nationwide recommendation for school children. The Centers for Disease Control is expected to adopt that ordinance. Implementation of this new order, however, would be up to individual states whether or not they would enact it. Live in the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you very much. Lawmakers in Chautauqua County have approved the proposed 2023 budget. The Chautauqua County Legislature voted last night on the spending plan, which features a 30-cent tax decrease as part of the fiscal strategy. The county rolled out a new property tax rate. The rate is now $7.80 per $1,000 assessed value, with a real property tax levy of $69 million. Now, during debate, lawmakers did not change the approved tax levy or rate from what was proposed by Chautauqua County Executive P.J. Wendell last month. Well, construction to revamp a park in downtown Jamestown is now complete. The Jamestown Renaissance Corporation announcing the news today. At the corner of 3rd Street and Potter's Alley, crews demolished the deck at Potter's Terrace, also known as AIDS Memorial Park, due to structural issues with the aging wood back in summer of 2021. Now this year, contractors poured new concrete, brought in new tables and park benches, along with shrubs, trees, and other greenery as part of the renovation here. A ribbon cutting to officially open the newly revamped terrace is set to take place next Tuesday at 4:30. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter's back with us once again today. And Dakota, albeit pretty cloudy out there and chilly, it doesn't seem like it's going to be too bad of a day.
No, I mean, today is not going to be too bad out there, but the clouds are really going to spoil the sunshine out there. You can see from the Randolph Beaches and Crane sky cam back behind me that we still have the cloud layer in place across portions of the area. You can still see it on the satellite and radar composite. We're still dealing with some of those clouds, but as we go through the later part of the afternoon, I do think we are going to see some sunshine towards the sunset hours. 55 was the high yesterday. We started the day at 41, so all in all, the high yesterday not too far from average. 78 and 18 are the records. So through the afternoon today, partly to mostly cloudy, limited sunshine, quite chilly, more sun later on in the day, 44 to 52 with a north wind. Now I've got an updated look on the Halloween forecast, plus big surge of warm air comes. We'll talk about it with the Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-Day later in the show, Justin.
Oh, that sounds pretty promising, Dakota. We'll see you back in just a little bit as we continue the latest in the case against a fisherman accused of cheating during a tournament on Lake Erie. And later, we catch up with a GOP candidate for Congress who's calling on more support for local law enforcement. That's next as part of our election 2022 coverage. Stay with us. WNY News will be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I'm a survivor.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The two accused Ohio fishermen accused of putting weights in their catch to win high-stakes fishing tournaments were in court this week. 42-year-old Jacob Ryan and 35-year-old Chase Kaminsky gained national attention when video went viral that showed weights and fishing fillets inside their tournament-winning catch. The incident happened last month at a walleye fishing tournament on Lake Erie. The two men were indicted on criminal charges, including 1 count of cheating and 1 count of attempted grand theft, and were in Cleveland court to answer the charges. Both pled not guilty and are scheduled to be back in court on November 9th. Well, the GOP candidate vying for your vote in this fall's congressional election in Western New York made a campaign stop in Cattaraugus County this week, where he questioned the treatment of law enforcement in our region. Julia Gress reports.
NY23 congressional GOP candidate Nick Langworthy made a stop in Olean Wednesday to announce an official law enforcement endorsement.
Let's accept support of our brave men and women in law enforcement. I want to thank the City of Olean Police Department, unions for road patrol, and commanders for your support and your confidence in me to go to Washington to represent our communities.
The candidate went on to question why law enforcement are the ones being treated unfairly.
They are the heroes among us. And sadly, they're the ones now under siege. They're the ones being targeted by a dangerous and frankly idiotic far-left ideology. What we've seen from one-party Democratic rule, whether it be in Washington or New York State, is a dismantling of our criminal justice system that puts the rights of criminals ahead of the right of law-abiding taxpayers.
Langworthy condemned bail reform and the new New York State gun laws and wondered how many tragedies it'll take for these actions to be reversed. He ensures all law enforcement that if he is elected, they will be fully funded and new officers of the highest standards will be trained to keep the community safe.
They need equipment, they need training, they need resources, they need the right laws in place, and they need the right posture from our country's leaders. Our men and women in blue will never have to guess where I stand as your member of Congress.
He believes this election, voters will change their mindset from woke to waking up. Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
On Wednesday, the New York Assembly Committee on Social Services met to examine public assistance benefits following the pandemic and rising inflation. Assembly members heard oral testimony from advocates and agencies about the actions they believe will help combat poverty and the challenges surrounding public assistance programs.
Everybody needs help. All across New York State, people need help.
Some of the specific programs highlighted include cash assistance, Medicare savings, and the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. A majority of advocates emphasized in their testimonies that state leaders can help improve access to public assistance for New Yorkers by increasing grant funding for these programs.
The maximum grant levels just aren't enough to be able to meet basic expenses.
Advocates add here that some people are left with only $10 a month for food and other necessities after paying rent through safety net assistance. Well, New York National Guard members, they've stepped in to help staff New York City shelters and other emergency sites following an influx of migrants. They're providing support for thousands of asylum seekers, helping existing staff with things like food distribution and capacity management. Guard members are not assisting with security, social services, or case management. Right now, it's unclear how many have been mobilized and where they've been deployed. This deployment comes less than a week after the mayor of El Paso, Texas, said his city would no longer be sending buses of migrants to New York City, crediting recent changes in federal policy. The office of Mayor Eric Adams and Governor Kathy Hochul have not yet responded to requests for comment. Well, coming up next, what a new report shows about consumer spending and inflation, and why experts are saying this data is misleading. And later, we're outlining Halloween safety tips that families need to heed before hitting the streets for trick-or-treating. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast. Stay right there. WNY News Now. We'll be back.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud.
Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
Lights. Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down. Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger.
This danger is real. Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for two great causes, Harrison's Playmakers and foster care in Chautauqua County. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
15-year-old Yadiel Diaz was subject to a public humiliation stunt by a fellow student in an act of violence and bullying. Now Yadiel's mother, Raquel, has had enough.
Officials are trying to work with the county's homeless coalition to help support the homeless population locally. There are also plans in the works to build 2 new shelters.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and I wanted to start off with an amazing picture from our friend Don of still some of the fall colors that are still showing up out there, and also some of the gray skies that we've had, especially yesterday when that rain came on through. So if you have any pictures or videos of the weather, Hunters WX on Twitter, the First Defense Weather page on Facebook, and always use the hashtag MyLocalWX. And taking a look at the fall foliage map just updated today, now shows the entire state pretty much, I would say, 80% of the state has pretty much now gone into past peak. We still do have peak colors right along the Lake Ontario shoreline, but if you really want the most vibrant colors, you have to head downstate, Hudson Valley, New York City, and Long Island. They're starting to see some of their peak colors right now, but the clouds are starting to part downtown right now. It's 42 degrees as of noon hour, so it's still chilly out there, and that's the reason why with that northwest wind of 8 and the wind chill down to 37 as well. That's what it feels like when you combine the air temperature and the wind together. Section 6 quarterfinals for Jamestown come up tomorrow night at Strider Field. Now, there are not going to be ticket sales at the door. You have to order them online, but there is a post on Facebook, which you can go to, which will allow you to buy tickets to the game tomorrow night. 49 at kickoff, 45 at halftime, and then 44 at 9 o'clock for the fourth quarter. They take on West Seneca West. 2 strong teams here. 6-2 is the win-loss record for both teams. Now, the next weather maker really is going to be warm air coming on in. This is the current 8 to 14-day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, and we are favored to be above average going into the first week in November. I don't think we're talking 80s, but I do think we are talking above average temperatures. And remember, as we get closer into the year, the average highs start to fall. In fact, here's the forecast temperatures over the next 5 days. So 47 today, 56 tomorrow, will return to the 60s for Saturday, close to it on Sunday. Then, even though we're going to be warm on Halloween, it comes with a fly in the ointment, which is in the terms of rain. So here is the updated Halloween forecast, and we're feeling more confident that rain showers are likely going to be present throughout trick-or-treating time. So just make sure if you are heading out, have the rain gear. The wind should be relatively light, around 5 to 10, so not a big deal. And also, the temperatures also pretty warm as well. High pressure starting to build in now, but as we peek out to the west, this is the next system that's going to arrive for Halloween. It's way out here impacting parts of Colorado, but it's going to make its track through the basically across the entire continental States. So here's the newest run of future scan showing you those clouds for the early afternoon. We'll break those clouds apart. Notice right around 5 o'clock here, based on the modeling, we should go into mostly sunny skies here. By the time we head into the overnight hours, mainly clear. A few clouds roll in through the overnight hours. Tomorrow should be a nice day, partly to mostly sunny. Again, another day of filtered sunshine. But by the time we head into Saturday, though, that is when the weather really starts to get good. So here's the next 7 days powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So fog tomorrow morning, then sun for the afternoon. The weekend looking nice. Halloween, there's the rain showers, and we're going to go warmer, Justin, by the middle of next week.
Yeah, certainly looking like spring coming back with the vengeance there, Dakota. Good old Western New York weather. Thank you, sir. Well, consumers will have to scare up a little extra money for Halloween candy come next week. The cost of chocolate bars and the like are expected to be 14% higher compared to 2021. That's according to a report from S&P Global Market Intelligence. Analysts say that we shouldn't increase, and it shouldn't come as a surprise to many people. Inflation, of course, has been impacting the cost of just about everything. Despite this, Americans are not being frightened away. The National Retail Federation reporting consumers are expected to spend $10.6 billion this Halloween. That's about $500 million more than last year. Well, the U.S. economy grew 2.6% over the last quarter. The Bureau of Economic Analysis released the gross domestic product data today. Amy Kiley has more on why that's as many Americans are starting to tighten their budget.
Quarterly updates on the gross domestic product are always behind the times. They show what the economy was like, in this case from July through September. The current reality for many Americans is likely different.
We understand that families are being squeezed by what's happening currently with inflation.
Average gas prices are up from a month ago despite recent drops. Halloween candy costs more this year, and health insurance premiums are rising. For people who use the federal exchange, enhanced subsidies will help with that last one.
We want you to have access to a hospital, to that doctor, that pediatrician that your child needs. We want you to have access to peace of mind.
Recent polls show inflation is top of mind for many voters.
This election, the economy is on the ballot.
Today's GDP report also can't predict the future. OPEC Plus production cuts are scheduled to start next week. Unions representing about 29,000 rail workers have voted down tentative contracts. That's prompting worries of strikes. And some experts say the Federal Reserve's rate increases have yet to impact the economy fully.
You raise rates to a certain level and then you stop and you hold them there and let that restraint take its effect on the economy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
After 36 drawings in a row with no grand prize winner, the Powerball jackpot now standing at $800 million. No ticket matched all 6 numbers in Wednesday's drawing, which was estimated at $700 million. The cash value of the prize is nearly $384 million. It would be the second largest prize in Powerball history. The biggest of all time was $1.586 billion in January of 2016. The next drawing now set for Saturday. Well, coming up next, law enforcement in our region, they are touting some tips to help keep kids safe this Halloween.
When severe weather breaks, WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
Police and other local law enforcement agencies are looking for the person responsible for a shooting.
One of the benefits of this new feature is it not only works with the newer parking meters that the city's been rolling out, but these traditional meters as well.
From muddy trails to slick cliff edges to structures that have fallen into disrepair, these are just some of the problems that this park faces.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. I'm Patrick Smeraldo, and I need your help to get there. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for 2 great causes. Harrison's Playmakers, and foster care in Chautauqua County. Harrison's Playmakers is a non-profit launched by former Buffalo Bills defensive tackle Harrison Phillips to connect kids with disabilities in sports. Furthermore, donations for this 3-day hike will also benefit CASA of Chautauqua County and the Stone family, who are assisting local foster care children during National Adoption Month. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Welcome back. Finally here today. Many parents out there want their kids to have a fun and safe Halloween. WNY's Alexandra Dern with what you should be doing to get ready.
Parents and kids need to be aware of traffic safety while trick-or-treating after dark. People need to be aware of cars when crossing the street in local neighborhoods.
We know they get excited and tend to dart out into the roads and, are anxious to get to the next house. So we just want to remind them to slow down a little bit, make sure they're looking both ways before they cross the street. Hopefully they'll have an adult with them.
Sheriff Schramm says traffic safety applies to adults as well.
Keep in mind that, the kids are going to be out and about. They're going to be excited. So always be on the alert for a kid darting out into the street if they're not paying attention.
Sheriff Schramm says it's important to be aware of stranger danger when everyone is outside, especially in costumes. He encourages kids, young and old, to use the buddy system.
The best thing to do is make sure you're with a group. If they're little kids, there should be, one or more adult with them.
Sheriff Schramm adds, don't forget about candy safety.
If you're a little bit older, where you're being allowed to go out on your own without parental guidance, make sure you're with a group of friends.
Reporting from Horseheads, Alexandra Dern, WNY News.
Alexandra, thank you very much. And certainly Halloween, it's a big time for so many kids in our community, Dakota, that you really do have to remember those safety tips, because at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, right? Is being safe. And there's a lot of tricky things in the world. A lot of people out there who aren't trying to do good. So it's important to
be careful of the traffic. And obviously, if a house's lights aren't on, don't go to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people, I think, even if they don't want to come in contact with kids, they'll put like the bowls out there, which, and then you got the honor system, right? Don't take the whole bowl and dump it in.
Well, we did that one year because, You
dumped the whole bowl in your bag?
Well, no. I didn't do that.
You put the bowl on your porch.
Yeah,
I got him off his game with that one.
Yeah, because my dad doesn't like answering the door to people. Yeah. So when I was little, my mom took me out trick or treating. So we just set the bowl of candy out on the front porch. Yeah. And the little heathens took it all.
They did?
There was nothing left.
Kids. We every year go over to my fiance's grandmother's house, and I assume we're doing the same thing this year, where we do trick-or-treating, and we only get like one family that specifically comes to her house and trick-or-treats, and then I usually end up eating the rest of the candy.
Yeah.
So, what are you gonna do?
I think that's pretty much how it is for most trick-or-treaters. It's just like you get the few families who live in your neighborhood. Yeah. Other than that, you can sit out there for 2 hours and just eat half the bowl of candy while you're waiting for everybody.
I imagine in Jamestown you might get more foot traffic, but nevertheless. And we want to remind people too, this Halloween, if you do have cool Halloween photos, send them to us. I know you'd always like to put them on the weather segment. In the last couple of moments, let's get another look at that Halloween forecast, because it's not really the best news when it comes to it.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword here. So yes, we have the warmer temperatures, mid to upper 50s, but it also comes with the rain as well. We are more confident that there's going to be rain showers, especially during the trick-or-treating hours, so make sure you have the rain gear with the kids as you send them out.
Yeah, certainly an important one out there. I know nobody.
Well, I'm
unless you can
sorry here.
You could incorporate the umbrella into the costume, maybe. Some
weatherman.
points for creativity. Yeah, there you go. If you want to dress up as Dakota, why not? What the heck? Get the point going on. So, Dakota, thank you very much. That is it for us. We'll leave you with this live look over Randolph's Whedon Park. No showers there on our Peaches and Cream Sky Cam. Of course, if you missed anything we talked about, don't worry. News continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a great day.